He's the speaker's peg boy, whose integrity is deeply questionable. He's the only Ugandan who has superseded the record of traveling. I was a member of parliament, and travels do not come that easily. That he has managed to travel for more days than exist in a period of 182 days. And we have evidence to this effect. For him, he traveled out of the country on purported parliamentary duties for 196 days in a year. When we were hunting for corrupt officials at parliament, Semuju would have been lined up as a culprit number one. I am shocked that such a person is heading the process of forming a new party. Is this going to be a party of the corrupt? Certainly it's going to be. Of course, you heard him recently, refusing to sign on a petition. And the reason he gave was really very strange. That because the person who was being petitioned against is his friend, he would prefer not to fight corruption. Or that, on a person who is alleged to have been corrupted on account of the person being his friend. And these are people who want to kill FDC and form a new political organization, and they believe that it will appeal to the people of Uganda. I think they are daydreaming. Honorable Francis Mujuke, I really laughed yesterday when I was watching the Morning Breeze, when Mujuke in his stammering manner was questioning the knowledge of the law of a teacher of the law. And I think I want to thank the Honorable Sibambi for his polite demeanor, because he remained polite. Was like looking at this fool, a teacher of law, teaching in the Law Development Center, in the oldest university in this country, and you go on television to question his credentials, saying all sorts of things about him, and yet there are skeletons in his closet that can be proved. This one's name should actually, we, the Baganda, would call him Somba Bioma. Because whom has he not flinched of money in this country? Including those he is hoobnobbing with. At a party level, I can report he misappropriated a lot of money, but we forgave him. I have received complaints from 56 MPs on account of that kind of theft. This very member, we have privileged information of his active involvement in the Patriotic League of Uganda activities, led by Muhoozi in the Ankole sub-region. In fact, the 2 times he has succeeded to go to parliament, he has either collaborated directly with the NRM, or has come, as was recently the case in the election of 2021, come under the protection of the SFC in order to win the election. And Dr. Besigye thinks, in fact, I would like to even inform the public that Dr. Besigye knows all about this, about the involvement of Muhoozi with the PLU, about his association with Muhoozi, the first son, about his association with the NRM. But he's prepared to turn the other way because Mujike sings his praises. Our sister, Honorable Salam, is known to be a regular visitor of State House. We have also seen her on several occasions escorting Mr. Museveni on foreign trips. We don't understand under what capacity. The same person was bankrolled by the State House with billions of shillings, ostensibly to defeat the then Speaker of Parliament in the Kamuli district woman election race. And I am going to say this with authority. Because in a meeting that had senior leaders, including Dr. Besige, she confessed to this. I'm surprised that Dr. Besige is looking for people who collaborate with the NRM, and yet just before his nose, there are people who do exactly that. Just recently, on the 26th of January 2024, she was invited and attended as a special guest at the NRM Liberation Day celebration in Buenge Town Council, Jinja District, which was presided by Mr. Museveni. We wonder whether the party that is about to be formed, which Honorable Salam seems to be the spokesperson, she was the master of ceremony in the purported delegates conference, was represented by Salam on the NRM Day, or is an extension of the NRM. Lukwago. There is a popular saying or adage among us Baganda, akasanke kakulema. A person who has failed to run a city wants to run a national grassroots party. Really? Now this one, who has he ever managed? What has he ever managed in life? Apart from political nomadism, where he's been killing political formations, the DP, Subi, F4C, DJ, wherever he has left those political formations, he has left political turmoil. He attempted to bring political confusion to FDC, and we stepped on his neck on that. I am happy that he found us alert, and we managed to block his political schemes. No wonder his only experience now is in presiding over a stinking city full of potholes and galvanizing political capital out of death, like the recent one of Kitezi, where he is directly politically responsible, but only collects media to cry every day. He collects you people when he wants to shed tears so that he may be seen to be concerned about the plight of the people, so that he may win another election in the city. I hope the people of Kampala this time are alert. And I would like to take the opportunity on behalf of the FDC to tender our apology to the people of Kampala for fielding such a person as a candidate of the FDC for the mayoral seat of the largest city in Uganda. This support from him. When did sworn members of opposition like Lukwago begin surviving on support from General Saleh, President Museveni's young brother? Isn't this the same that will be transferred to the new party in the offing under the stewardship of Lukwago? We challenged Lukwago here about the letter, the simple note written by Saleh, and he nearly burst his neck. He shouted and on top of his voice and said, "Look, don't go in that direction." Because he feared to be exposed. I have seen him recently saying he went to court. But he was suing the national newspaper. He wasn't suing Saleh, the author of that letter, and who was the first man to defend Lukwago over this. It was Dr. Kizza Besigye who defended him. Immediately that note came out, the next day he ran to the media to try to convince the country how clean Lukwago is. Waswa Birigwa. That Waswa Birigwa is known very well, famous for climbing over walls. Without any threat, because he wanted to embarrass the party, he climbed over a wall in Najanangumi. We watched him. I was here. Everybody was up in arms against the party. But before long, he was climbing over another wall in Katonga. We don't know which wall he will climb next. He admitted before Dr. Besigye that he had been in meetings with Museveni cutting deals. And yet he continues to get praises from our friends in Katonga. You heard them calling him unbogable, unshakable. A man who has openly come out and said, you know, he speaks to Museveni. He's on record. A man who wanted to stop an election here and therefore abused the sanctity of the office of chairman. We made a big political blunder in Lukwago and Birigwa. Actually, we realized our mistake too late. Because under our constitution, a person to become chairman of a party should have a character beyond reproach. A person to become chairman of the party should have served for a certain period of time prior to contesting to become chairman. Birigwa came, he was brought by Sebgo, he had crossed from NRM the day before, and we made a big mistake to elect him as chairman. In fact, it was a constitutional blunder for which the whole FDC should take responsibility. If we were fully awake at the time, we would not be having these problems in the party. At this point, permit me to clear the air on a number of issues. The convening of the National Delegates Conference of the 6th of October 2023 after the ruling of Justice Sekana. There is an allegation that it was not convened properly. I want to assure the public that whereas under our constitution, it is the chairman that is authorized to convene National Delegates Conference. This is done as an office, not as an individual. It is also clearly stated in our constitution that the chairman shall be deputized. Therefore, in the absence of the chairman, and in recognizing the fact that a void can never be left, a deputy will act. And so it was in order for the party, once Birigwa was unwilling to work as the chairman, to resort to his deputy to fill up the gap. I heard Mujuke saying yesterday that which Mukala's Chibuka was in intensive care and could not have signed that letter. This is a matter of personal health, but I think it was unfair to our elder Chibuka, because Chibuka was able to sign that communication calling the National Delegates Conference, which was given within time. Our friends in Katonga are certainly in shock about the manner we have galvanized this country. They do not believe the following that they see, that we have marshaled in 6 political rallies in Uganda. And your cameras have been available. When we went to Soroti, they said, you know, that was Photoshop. And I'm happy to the Daily Monitor that brought the pictures to the whole country and to the world. I am sure an individual in the Katonga there who was interested in the Daily Monitor was not very happy by those pictures. But we continue to unravel the length and breadth of this country. And to those political failures who have lost political luster, who are now, you know, almost flat on their face, they have begun to give all sorts of excuses that we are bribing people with food and beer. That question was answered by Sibambi yesterday. When we went to Soroti, we kept our people for the whole day without even a bottle of water. And it was disastrous. So we went out to individuals asking for support. Some gave us food, some gave us meat, some gave us water, some gave us beer. What would we have done with that beer? Would we have poured the beer? Wouldn't we be abusing the generosity of our supporters? What would we have done with the bulls donated to us? Thrown them in the lake? Wouldn't we be abusing the generosity of our supporters and funders? So our friends should just bear the pain of failing to mobilize this country simply because the people who used to do the donkey work, the people who used to do the spade work, are no longer with them. And we will continue moving, no matter what they say. You are all invited to Jinja on Saturday the 24th to attend our mega rally that is going to seal the first phase of our country wide campaigns. Then we'll come back and review and see what happens next. Country, everywhere, across every stream of this country, up every hill, down every valley, through all twists and turns, to get to every citizen of this country. That I would like to clarify is the membership of the FDC. The country needs to know that common membership is renewed every year. These fund makers in Katonga, according to our records, have not renewed their membership in the last 4 years. Therefore, they are not actually members and do not have the legal locus. They do not have the authority to take decisions on behalf of the FDC. And I want to warn that this must stop. It must stop, because we are going to take drastic measures if this does not stop.